Microphone check. Okay, we are live. Hello, good morning, and everyone. Welcome to the Multimedia Expos of CyberJar Homeworld of 2022. And today we are going to show new technologies and new innovations that are for consumers and industries alike. Today we have 5 contestants of 5 booths here that would like to show their new technology for today, created by students for students. And so, without further ado, I would like to introduce each of the members by first, starting with the list.
Hello everyone, so my name is Aiman. I'm from cybersecurity booth.
Next, Khairil.
Hello everyone, my name is Khairil Asfar bin Zulkifli and I'm from VisuWorld by Mac.
Haziq. Mr. Haziq. Okay, skipping on. Mr. Faris, would you like to introduce yourself first?
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Muhammad Faris bin Muhammad Garano and I'm from Amozfat booth.
Anis.
Hello, good morning. Assalamualaikum. My name is Anisha binti Yusri. I'm for Vtuberlia.
Mr. Haziq, are you live? Okay, Mr. Haziq has some intro issues before, so feel free to share this link. You can check out our Instagram page in the below. And so, without further ado, we would like to go with our first booth first, with Aiman. Any FAQ you would like to ask will be at the end of the presentation. Starting with Aiman, with cybersecurity, they are promoting the awarenesses and threats of new cyber crimes in the 21st century. So, without further ado, Mr. Aiman would like to take over.
Yes, thank you, Kai. So give me a few seconds. I want to share my screen. Okay, so I hope everyone can see my screen. Okay, again, hello everyone. Good morning. I hope you will enjoy today's event. My name is Muhammad Aiman. I'm from cybersecurity, and I will talk about cybercrimes in Malaysia. So, cybercrimes, also called computer crimes, is the use of computer as an instrument to further illegal ends such as committing frauds, trafficking in child pornography, stealing identities, or violating privacy. Most cybercrimes is an attack on informations about individuals, corporations, or governments. In the digital age, our virtual identities are essential elements of everyday life. For example, our social media accounts, Instagram and Twitter. Recently, Malaysian made international news in 2020 when two local men, along with five Chinese nationals, were arrested for money laundering and cybercrimes in the United States. They were hacking more than 100 companies globally. While Malaysian crime index has reportedly dropped over the years, with an average of 11,000 fewer cases each consecutive year, cyber crimes remain rampant, with cyber criminals taking advantage of new technologies and remote working platforms enforced due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Statement by PDRM states that cybercrimes has surpassed drugs trafficking as the most lucrative crimes, according to PDRM statements. Almost anybody who is an active computer or online user would have been a cybercrime victim, and 70% of commercial crime cases now can be categorized as cybercrime cases. So moving on, cyber crimes range across a spectrum of activities. At one point, crimes that involve fundamental breaches of personal or corporate privacy, such as assaults on the integrity of informations, and the use of illegal obtained digital information to blackmail or firm or on individuals. Here are some common cybercrimes. For number one is DDoS attack, botnet, identity theft, malware, spoofing, web defacement, online harassment, and phishing scams. In Malaysia, some of the most cybercrimes are DDoS attack, identity theft, and phishing scams. So I will explain each of those about what it is. So number one is DDoS attack. DDoS attack or distributed network attacks are often referred to as distributed denial of service attacks. This type of attacks takes advantage of the specific capacity limits that apply to any network resource, such as infrastructure that enables a company website. The DDoS attack will send multiple requests to the attack web source with the aim of exceeding of the website's capacity to handle multiple requests and to prevent the websites from functioning correctly. So typical targets for DDoS attack includes internet shopping sites or any platform that provide online service. So number two is identity theft. Identity thieves are cyber criminals who try to gain access to their victims' personal information, name, address, phone number, place of employment, bank account, credit card information, and social security number. They use these informations to make financial transactions while impersonating their victims. So number three is phishing scams. Phishers are cyber criminals who attempt to get a hold of personal or sensitive information through victims' computer. This is often done via phishing websites that are designed to copycat small business, corporate, or government websites. Unsuspecting computers users often fall prey to such activities by unknowingly provide personal information, including home address, social security numbers, and even bank passwords. Once such information is obtained, phishers either use the information themselves for identity fraud scams or sell it. Okay, so next we move on. According to Malaysian's Crime Prevention Foundation's MCPF, the total losses recorded in regards of to cybercrimes from 2019 and 2020 were 305 millions and 247 million respectively. Based on statistic by Malaysian Computer Fraud Emergency Response Team, MyCERT, from January to December 2020, there's already been 10,000 reported incidents of cybercrime. Cases have been especially risen since the introduction of the MCO, with a total number of 3,000 complaints lodged to the Cyber 999 Help Center from March 18 to June 30, an increase of more than 90% compared to the same period last year. Last year means at 2019. The reported case involves cyberbullying, fraud, cyber intrusion, hacking attempts, and spams, most of which occur in urban areas with high-speed internet connections. Under the Ministry of Multimedia, MCMC, Cybersecurity Malaysia has established as a cybersecurity specialist agency to provide a range of service and strengthen Malaysian self-reliant cyberspace. The organization assists enforced agencies in cyber forensics and analysis, such as analyzing evidence and providing expert witness for relevant cybercrime cases. With that being said, with the rise in cybercrime case, there is an urgent need for proactive steps to tackle the crimes. Cybersecurity Malaysia, for example, has highlighted that the shortcoming of its agency in the lack of cybersecurity professionals. Hence, universities are urged to offer more courses and programs to educate the public and create awareness on cybersecurity. Okay, so next we look at the short video about victims of cybercrimes.
The morning begins as usual, accompanied by the hustle and bustle of the city. It's just another day at the office for this young man. Nothing out of the ordinary. But he is about to become a victim. He has a meeting with a client and needs to make sure his presentation is ready. With only a thumbprint, anyone can access your personal information. Every personal detail can be retrieved. On that very day, he had no idea what happened. The usage of cloud is now widespread. Important information saved onto an unsecured cloud can be transferred easily if you're targeted. First, they pick the data, then the client's account, personal information, and finally the IP address. And there's always someone willing to pay a high price for this information. Say hello to your new admin. He went from the computers to the servers and finally to the cell phones. By the time you realize something is amiss, it's too late. They do this for the money and without any remorse. Almost every day, hackers attack leading companies and their websites for personal information.
So that is a short video from Cybersecurity Malaysia. So we move on.
The morning begins as usual.
So next is we talk about laws of cyber acts in Malaysia. So Malaysia also has introduced cyber laws and policies such as Computer Act Crimes in 1997 and the Communications and Multimedia Act 1998. That act as a safeguard against cyber criminal activities in the country. So another examples of laws of cyber acts in Malaysia is the recent is Optical Disc Act 2000 and Electronic Transition Act 2006. So next, so how can we protect ourselves against cyber crimes? Since everyone is vulnerable to the threats of cyber crimes, there are simple but proactive steps to avoid becoming victims of cyber crimes. So number one is never give out personal data over the phones or via email unless you are completely sure the line or email is secure. Number two is do not open an attachment from a sender you do not know. Number three is do not click or download any links in spam emails or other messages from unidentified sources. Number four is check the authenticity of the organizations involved by calling the companies using the numbers in their official websites. Number five is use strong passwords that people will not guess and do not record them anywhere. And lastly, number six, ensure that your antivirus software or operating system are up to date to protect your device from the latest security threats. So that's all from me. Thank you. I will pass to Kai.
Thank you, Mr. Aiman. Thank you for the great awareness and showcases of the dangers of technology these days as they work as a double-edged sword. Now we'll look for any questions or Q&As. If not, we'll move on to our next booth, Mr. Haziq. Okay, if doesn't have any, then we would like to move on to our next booth presentation by
Wait,
Mr.
hold on. Okay, yeah. So, anyways, yeah, a very
I haven't started yet, please.
sorry.
Without further ado, I would like to introduce Mr. Haziq with his plans, which is visual animations, showcasing a new digital software for premade templates for ease of productions. So without further ado, Mr. Haziq, would you like to take over?
Yeah, sorry. I was like, sorry. I was setting things up, and
Continue,
any-
please.
anyways, yeah. Anyways, a very good morning. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Very good morning once again. I want to for this very morning I want to talk about my own. I will present to you Ghitanimate, an animation software made by visual animations. I represent visual animations. Yes, and yeah. That's the logo. That's the logo, or at least probably a working one. Anyways, uh when it comes to like animation these days are done like digitally. Of course there are like traditional animations and stuff, but even like in anime, they do still do like traditional like drawing stuff on paper, but eventually they're just gonna scan it and then do things like digitally. And of course there are like there's of course like various other softwares out there. I'm not gonna say anything about comparisons or anything. It's just that they exist. So like we have like Adobe Animate, Eclipse Studio Paint, and then there's Blender, etc., etc., etc. But for this presentation specifically, I want to focus onto 2D animation, and to focus even further, I'm specifically going to be talking about digitally hand drawn animation, in which you have like something like say that Clip Studio Paint, for example, that I've noticed, like, and then you're actually gonna have like you know a tablet, and then you draw, and you can draw on it like with a tablet pen and stuff. Now, when it comes to like digital hand drawn animation, um, in the actual industry, the digital hand drawn animation, like they have like their own specific template that they're using in whatever program they use, specifically like anime. Like they like if you like say if you have like Clip Studio Paint, and then you have this like animation window stuff, and then it's basically bare bones. But when you actually go into like working on animation companies like say OLM Asia, they actually have their own like specific template for to be used. And well, and that's the thing, they have their own specific template to use. And so introducing Ghitanimate, uh our company's product. Start animating your vision with Visual Animation's new product, Ghitanimate. Now, what exactly does this software do that's different from the others? So this one is made specifically with the professional stuff in mind, with a pre-made template, and it really and it the wait, hold on. Yeah, the purpose of it is to streamline the animation process. So this one is gonna be like a very heavy focus on the digital hand drawn style. I mean that you could do like the more vector style, even stuff like Clip Studio Paint. I mean Adobe Animate is like is the one that's focused on the whole puppet style, like 2D animation for the Flash stuff, and even Clip Studio Paint can do it. This one can also do it, but this one has a heavy focus on the digital hand drawn style. And why is this a thing? Because like future animators, especially the ones that want to go to the digital hand drawn style, want to go to they want to go to like for animation studios that do the digital hand drawn style, and there is they do still exist even in Malaysia. There is like a branch for OLM Asia, which is an anime company where all the in between the stuff from Japan, from not just the main OLM branch or other anime companies get sent over to them, and they do the in between stuff. So yeah, this and so we're the purpose of this is to try to get future animators like acquainted with the basics of how the whole thing, the process is done on a professional level. Now, now I'm gonna like do an explanation on the template and stuff, just to give the basics on like people who don't know any better about how the professional animation stuff works. And then first of all, we have a timesheet where it is timesheet is pretty much a sheet that's also like a process trying to like figure out the timing of an animation in a cut, or the shot, as in like that frame where a single shot where the whole thing where a single thing happens. yeah, it's like it's a shot, but it's also called a cut. Now the software, it would have its own like timesheet thing, but it also had that you can that it that needs to be filled in. I'm not gonna go into the specifics of how that thing works because that's not the because the purpose is more on the general product thing. This one, the software, they would have its own personal timesheet to be filled in, and then and then like and then when you like confirm it, the software automatically like makes the proper layers and frames in the animation timeline. Now and then moving on, let's talk about like the template explanation for the timeline and layers. Like I said before, the animation timeline would have like all the layers and frames and stuff. It would be added like all of them and then arranged again for streamline purposes. And then there's also gonna be like options for different sorts of companion layers. Here in the slide, you will see something like such as what some may call the ghost layer. It's basically like a companion layer, like how a certain frame would be split up into two different into like have a specific part of a frame be separated into its own different layer because most of the frame will be static and then only a very specific part of the frame will be moving, something like that. And then before then the main layer would be animated again. And yeah, the figure here, it gives an example on like what you would expect your animation layer setup to look like. You have the scans where uh like I said previously, you have like the traditional hand drawn stuff will be scanned, and then that's where the scan would go, and then you have like the layers like A and B because they would label it like A or B or A go for the aforementioned Gose layer thing, or masking layer, and and then more onto the whole thing. And each frame is actually like a like their own folder with multiple layers inside. Like there, this one is like a in the proper like animation stuff. It's gonna be like frame one, frame two, something like that. Or in like if frame one, frame two in the A layers thing. So you have like A1, A2, or A go one, A go two, and they're all gonna have like their own like thing, like black, and then this paint, and then the red, blue, green. I'm not gonna elaborate on that because like it's like a whole thing. There's a whole lot of things going on. I'm not gonna like there's a bit much, but basically with this there's gonna be like yep this sketch thing going on, and then there's the line art, and then eventually you get to the paint. So yeah, you see the blue stuff, and then the blue stuff, the red stuff. It helps like for the whole shading and highlights, and then of course afterwards you have to make the animation happen. I can of course this is like self-explanatory. Like anyone who knows anything about animation, they know that it's basically just multiple pictures, being put into a very specific sequential order for it to move. But basically, you have like there's keyframes and in between frames. As far as like you technically don't need like it for any sort of animation. You technically don't need a template or stuff. But again, when it comes to professional stuff, a template is used for the sake of uniformity, like to make things a bit uniform. But when it comes to like a video showcase thing, I want to show you like my own my own animated show reel, just because I can. And that would be it. Is there any Q&A going on, whatever, or just that's it. That's it for my presentation. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a good. I have you have a great day, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Haziq. Uh, our viewers, if you have any questions, you can ask Curly, or at the end of our stream, we have another separate Q&A session. Okay, if we don't have anything else, I would like to pass on my microphone next to Mr. Faris with his new product, Times by Amozfat, to introduce a smartwatch for those who are like sport and fitnesses at the same time without sacrificing styles. So without further ado, Mr. Faris, can you present?
All right, Mr. Kai, thank you. So, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. My name is Muhammad Faris bin Muhammad Khairil Anwar, and I'm from Amozfat. So, first of all, I would like to thank you guys for coming to our booth and to coming to our event. And as for my booth, so for the introduction for my company, Amozfat is a company that combines fashion and innovative technology to enable smart devices to become personalized vehicles, connecting every aspect for future life. Plus, we also focus on living a healthy and active lifestyle, activating the inner drive of consumer, so that they live a life full of enthusiasm and also fun. So, and now Amosfat will introduce to you guys one of our new product, and this product will be focusing on athletes and also for those who love sports. So, for this article are from University Malaya, where they stated that why sport? This is because Malaysia has the highest of obesity among adults on the Southeast Asia, especially during this pandemic. It's getting higher and higher. So Amosfat will be focused for those who love sport and help them to do activities during this pandemic. So the product that we're going to show to you guys is the Times smartwatch. So some of you guys may think that, oh, smartwatch, I better buy a smartwatch from a well-known brand like Samsung, Apple, and so on. But as for the Times, we are more focusing on the extreme lifestyle or sports. Means that this product has a lot of features that's suitable for them who love sport or camping, hiking, rock climbing, and anything related with sport. And this is the features and specs that have at the Time smartwatch, where we have the SpO2, heart rate, and sleeping tracking. And as for the screen that will be implemented for this smartwatch is the AMOLED display, 1.3 inch, 360 times 360. And this smartwatch we implement also the GPS, GLONASS, and etc. And this smartwatch is a water resistant, and it has the military certificate for ruggedness. And as for their battery, we have we have put them with 360 mAh, and we have also include the sensor like barometric and geomagnetic and a lot of more. And this device work for Android and also iOS. So as for the benefit of the Time smartwatch, first of all, of course, the military certification, which mean it can adapt the extreme temperature, humidity, salt spray, ice, and freezing rain, and also shock. The AMOLED screen is a build. Moreover, it came with a layer of Gorilla Glass 3, and it is an anti-finger coating, which means it is a strong smartwatch. This smartwatch also have a SpO2 features and also the user function as tracking steps, workout, sleep, heart rate, and etc. This smartwatch also built in GPS, compass, and barometer for the atmospheric pressure. And because of we are focusing for the sports, this smartwatch also have more than 100 sports modes. And this product came with three color, which is white cream or creamy white, black matte, and also navy blue. And that's all for me. Thank you. I will pass back to Mr. Kai.
Thank you, Mr. Faris, for your wonderful products standing against the top competitions. As you know, smartwatches are not just quite big company stuff like Apple, Samsung, Xiaomi, Huawei's. So it's good to see a local competition as well. Any further ado, if you have any questions, you can ask now or after the stream is over. Okay, now we will go to our fourth book of today by Mr. Karim of his products new known as Virtual World. It's a VR technology combining the features of Google Maps surrounding your events in the outside environments without stepping outside your house. So basically, it's a better version of Google Maps. Still better than Apple Maps. So without further ado, I'll give the microphone to Mr. Karim. Mr. Karim.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kai. Right. Once again, hello and good morning to everyone. My name is Khairil and I'm from VisuWorld, organized by Multimedia Expo Sabajaya Homeworld, or short known as MAC. So first of all, I want to explain what is visual. So basically, visual refers to a digitally replicated version of something real, whether it's a machine, a switch, memory, or even reality. Virtual is distinguished from the real by the fact that it lacks an absolute physical form. However, the functionality of virtual is no less than the real one. So when it comes to virtual, people also know the terms of virtual reality, or also known as VR by many. Virtual reality is basically an artificial environment that offers immersive audio and visual experience to users. So these experiences are usually presented through specialized equipment like the VR headset, while the experience is fairly realistic. The user's physical reality does not exhibit any change. So this sample of my poster for the booth, virtual reality. So basically, we from the virtual world organized by Mac will be introducing many kinds of virtual equipment to the public. And the main feature of the virtual world is a new virtual software called Virtual Map that will be introduced to the public. So what is a virtual map? Virtual map is a program where you will be using a VR technologies like the one from the right for you to have a full experience of the software. One of the neat feature that we implemented in Virtual Map is a real-time feature that you can switch according to your preference. This feature basically will allow you to experience the day and night time accordingly to your location and time. So if you're in Malaysia, you can experience the day, while everyone on the United States can experience like evening or night. So if you're using Virtual Map during the day, you will have a daytime inside Virtual Map basically. You can say that with Virtual Map, you will be able to experience metaverse like VR chat, but unlike VR chat, Virtual Map will provide a more depth view of reality and virtual combined. The 3D environment inside of the Virtual Map will be built and placed almost exactly as you want. So basically, if you view KL, like you can see the Twin Tower in KL in the Virtual Map, you also can see the Twin Tower basically in the same place with the same height. This will allow you to feel as if you're taking a trip to places that you haven't visited yet. So these are the few benefits of virtual map. With virtual map, you can socialize like for I mean like during this time of COVID, we have like social distance and the rule of social distance and so basically like, we have to distance lah from each other. But with virtual map, you no need for distance from each other. You can socialize with others from abroad and you can basically like that lah. Sorry, it's a kind of nervous. For business, you can open shop and selling things online like Shopee. But with virtual map, you basically can build your own shop, your own stand. You can view the things, put up a picture in your stand, so the others can see and order it online. You can also order food through virtual map and having a meeting with other associates. So for entertainment, you can also have a massive multiplayer games. You can play games like sports games. You can play baseball with the other and such lah. You also can have a concerts online, provided you have a quality audio equipment. Because if you have a crappy audio equipment, so it will be like a crap concert lah. So this is the example lah. With virtual map, you can gather around with everyone. You can socialize without a need to distance with each other. And here I will show you like an example of virtual reality video. Sorry, I'm gonna skip it a bit. See. So basically, like here are one of example lah. What will virtual map will be? You can enjoy the roller coaster ride without needing to go to the fun fair lah. But of course, you cannot feel the wind because how can you feel the wind if you're inside your house? So next will be another example of what you can enjoy through virtual map. So with virtual map, you can enjoy playing games with your friends like this. You also can have like the benefits of exercising lah. No need to just sit around in front of a computer playing games. So why virtual reality? You see, nowadays like so many things happen in Malaysia. You have like weather currently constantly changing. Like before, we have like many states in Malaysia like currently facing like flood. So it's like so many flood happens in Malaysia, and the heat. Many people cannot stand the heat in Malaysia, so they feel like so lazy to go outside. But with virtual map, you can still go outside without leaving your home. So the objective of virtual world is basically creating opportunities for people to travel around the world without having weathers as obstacles, as mentioned before. And the objective is to promoting VR technologies for those who didn't know about virtual reality, and to attract people to the benefits of VR and create more interactions with other people through VR. So yeah, basically that's it. I'm gonna change back to Mr. Kai. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Karen. What an amazing idea for virtualities. Hopefully, you can use it part of your final projects or anything, and hopefully your products can be one day be fully implemented. Okay, since we have sometimes early on, where I like to pass to Mr. Anis with her final showcase for today, Vtuberlia, which is a VTuber introducing a new way to approach the audience via a 2D avatar instead of using a physical appearances. So without further ado, I would like to pass the microphone to Mr. Anis. Miss Anis?
Assalamualaikum and good morning. My name is Anisha Higa and I want to present my book Vtuberlia. Okay, just by hearing my book name Vtuberlia, I believe most of you have heard about the VTuber. And of course, some of it don't know what is a VTuber. So I explain is that a VTuber or virtual YouTuber is an internet antenna which combine computer graphic and real-time motion capture software or technology to create a virtual avatar. And my purpose, my goal is to introduce the VTuber and teach the audience the basic how to become a VTuber. It also gives them a confidence when talking to strangers and fill up their free time in those activities. Okay, so last 2 years ago, there's a last 2 years ago there's a pandemic happened. Or that time people can get a job or isolate in your house. On that time you must feel bored. The way to escape is by playing a game or message or call to your friends or relative. But do you know how long the quarantine is? Some of us has a money issue when quarantine happen. We can go outside because the government has been ordered to not go outside unless necessary, such as health issue. That is why becoming introvert is the only way. Unfortunately, not many people is brave enough when talking to to people in internet. Thereby, becoming introvert can help you more confident when talking to them. When you become a VTuber, there's a lot of huge success in terms of income and viewers. There's also the pros score when pick up There's also a pro cons when pick up a video. First of all is you have a countless way to enhance your creativity in your content. There's a fun project that we teach you a lot about business management and communication. Lastly, provide online entertainment which provide online entertainers with a sense security. The problem is the model of avatar, equipment and asset are very pricey. When you heard about this matter, you must be worried. Fear not. There are some free VTuber model avatar and software in internet. You can also create your own avatar. Uh, and you when you want to become a VTuber, you only need a webcam, a laptop or computer. If you don't have a webcam or laptop, you can also have a mobile version in Play Store. So the mobile version as a mobile version for Play Store is Bcapsule, which is the left side, and Studio. That's you can search on the Play Store or iOS. For software, VTuber mostly on Steam. There's at least there are 4 or 5 free software that you can use. And lastly, for create your own avatar, you can use Photoshop or VisuWorld Studio. And that's all for my book. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss Anis. Thanks to the VTuber revolutions, now most industries are looking into using VTubers for advertisements and marketing. So not a bad idea. Okay, now we're done with all of our 5 cases of our showcases. Now we would like to go through our Q&A session. If you have any questions related to any of the products that you guys want to have, or you are curious that you may want to use those products for your own ideations, or like to help them develop it into a fully usable product one day. These are great ideas that can help young generations these days to have a good startups of their firm holes, especially go for developments lah. Now, if there's no Q&A, we will end our streams. So we'll give them about 5 minutes. If there's no questions, we will end the stream today. Now, in the meantime, I would like to have everyone's final thoughts and opinions of your products one by one. So at this one, everyone can get the microphone says about it. Starting with Aiman's. Anyone have any comments on his ideas? His spread of awareness? You want? Okay, feel free to open your microphone.
I like the idea because not many kind of like aware of the identity theft happens nowadays. It haven't happened to me yet, but basically I also need to be cautious lah because of this kind of thing already happened to many nowadays. So basically, yeah, I like the kind of like to create awareness towards the others, for the others.
Thank you, Khairil.
Anyone has other comments of his approach? Okay, moving on. Let's go with Mr. Haziq ideas. How was his uh, solutions to help young generation people or new startups to help create digital animations? Anyone want to give your comments?
For Haziq is the 2D animation created digitally, right? So basically, it's kind of like revolution now because of in the past people really doing an animation with the 2D hand drawn. It took time and many a lot of money. If Haziq's idea, people already started to accept lah this kind of 2D digital animation.
Anyone else? Okay, so that's how we'll move to Mr. Faris' ideas of his smartwatch, trying to be the underdog against all these big companies, his small competitions. Anyone would like to share their ideas and comments? Anyone else, please? Aiman, Haziq.
I think that the inventions of the smartwatch is similar to Samsung's nowadays. Samsung is a big company, but for local companies, I think it's quite interesting and the idea is there. So I hope that the product is doing good and everything.
Any other questions? Your product is kind of similar to Apple Watch first time when they introduced their Apple Watches. It was back then it was quite limited because back then it was quite limited in terms of features. Like the features that they wanted to buy was the heart monitoring systems. Uh, they didn't use it as a phone because it was too small. It was too slow because the chip was a very simple one. But these days, more competitions they have their own ways to make it separately or different from the competitions. Mainly like Samsung with the integration to Androids and working with Google's, Apple's sticking with their own iOS, Huawei linking to their medical systems in the government. So yeah, it's good to have a local companies, especially locally produced, so can local pricing and to also support like our own economy as well. Next, virtual map, virtual world. Anyone has comments about his? Come on, anyone, don't be shy.
Yeah, I think the explanations about the VR is very important nowadays, today especially, because nowadays trend is VR, like some VR, VTuber, and everything. So I think that people need knowledge about the VR, especially. So I think that it's a good presentations to introduce about the VR.
Thank you, Mr. Aiman.
Okay, the idea of virtual map, I like the idea. It's like as you said, since the COVID, we can go outside and not later to overseas. And plus, virtual map idea is also good when come to the culture heritage. I mean, learning the culture heritage around the globe, around the world. So, I really like that one idea. The Google Map, we can see what are they doing. I mean, if only there is a video video in Google Map how they show about it. I think they also can learn from the user if they add the feature of video to learn the culture or the language and so on. I think that's all for me.
Thank you, Miss Anis.
Finally, we have Miss Annie's own idea, which is her VTuber, kind of fitting with the virtual mat, you know. Anyone has comments about him? Mr. Haziq?
Oh, sorry, I really don't have anything to like really say like or like add on. It's like okay, I'm just like I was watching and listening. It's like oh okay, but then there's nothing for me to really like add on to the.
Faris, have you any comments?
For me, it is an interesting awareness because this is my first time heard about the VTuber, and it is a good for the introvert person to start talk to cameras.
You, since it's actually your first time, actually it's like Malaysia is quite rare to see lah. Like it's quite a like small communities. In fact, Indonesia has our not competition lah. Indonesia has been quite popular thanks to the big cover corp Hololive. They have
Yeah.
their own VTuber branch in Indonesia, which helps to promote their cultures, their language to even to the Western worlds. So maybe one day if Malaysia gets popular enough, we might get our own like VTuber groups lah, or idol groups. Doesn't have to be idols. It can be just because VTubers are just personalities. They just like talk hosts, shows, yeah, cast characters to help promote what they wanted to know about. Mainly it's culture lah, or culture. These are all men and women of culture. Stop laughing. We have before if you need to ask questions, we're already past the 5 minutes mark. Seems like there no any other questions from our viewers in the chat. This stream will be available on our YouTube channel, so you can replay them in if you want to look about it. If you want to review the ideas that we have, you can share our Instagram pages that we will share, and also if you want to contact us or anything, feel free to drop down in the comment section below. And without further ado, I would like to end today's stream. So thank you for participating for our show host today. Our a bit small tech quickie, and everyone say bye bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Hi.
Bye.
Hope to see you
Thank you,
next
Mr. Kai.
year if there's a
Thank
next year.
you.